Number 7. Thomas Anthony Mansfield. A Welsh personal trainer died in 2021 after miscalculating the dosage of pre-workout caffeine supplements. An inquiry into the incident reached a conclusion on March the 1st of 2022, and it revealed that 29-year-old Thomas Anthony Mansfield had ordered a 100-gram packet of caffeine powder from Blackburn Distribution, a UK-based sports supplement company. He prepared a drink shortly after the product's arrival. It had a recommended dosage of 60 to 300 milligrams twice a day, but the digital scale used by the personal trainer had a starting weight of 2 grams, which provided the basis for his erring calculations. Mansfield aimed for a mid-range serving but ended up taking 5 grams of the powder. According to his wife Susanna, he took an initial sip before downing the remainder of the drink. Within moments, Mansfield clutched his chest and lay down on the sofa before he started frothing at the mouth. Susanna rushed to get help from their neighbors, and an ambulance was called to the Colwyn Bay address. Paramedics arrived at the scene within minutes and used a defibrillator on Mansfield, who'd gone into cardiac arrest. He was transported to Ysbyty Glan Clwyd, where resuscitation attempts were stopped at around 4 p.m. A post-mortem examination would list caffeine toxicity as the cause of death. A coroner determined that the father of 2 had 392 milligrams of caffeine per liter of blood, which was nearly equivalent to him having ingested 200 cups of coffee. Number 6. Hamon Rayon Bugs. 44-year-old Hamon Rayon Bugs, a personal trainer from California, was arrested and charged with double homicide, following what the authorities believed had been a jealous rampage. 38-year-old Darren Parch and Wendy Miller, aged 48, were found dead at the former's Newport Beach residence on April the 21st of 2019. Both had been executed via gunshots to the head, and their lifeless bodies were discovered by Parch's roommate. Bugs, who'd played football at Arizona State College, was a bodybuilding competitor and the founder of a personal training company called Do It Again 9. He was also a convicted felon with a substantial record that included domestic battery and assault on a police officer. Bugs was already in police custody for a string of recent burglaries when he was linked to the double homicide. It was revealed that he'd been stalking his ex-girlfriend, whose identity wasn't revealed after she'd broken up with him in December of the previous year. He believed that Parch, a former minor league hockey player, was dating her and targeted him at his home. Parch and Miller, who worked as the CEO of a non-profit advocacy group, were last seen leaving a bar in Laguna Beach together. Miller wasn't the woman that Bugs had been obsessively pursuing and had met Parch while out with friends on the night of her death. Her companions reported that she'd given him a ride home because they lived in the same neighborhood. They reached the address where they were gunned down by Bugs, who'd ambushed the pair, giving them no chance to defend themselves. Roughly 18 hours later, he went to a neighborhood in Irvine as he continued hunting for the man he believed was dating his ex. He committed a series of burglaries for which he was eventually arrested after the police had set up surveillance in the area. Photos of Parch were found on his cell phone, while his address and phone number had been written on a notepad discovered in his Chevrolet Camaro. Bugs was charged with double murder with special circumstances, and as of April 2022, prosecutors had decided not to pursue the death penalty against him, while his defense attributed his actions to the traumatic encephalopathy he'd developed after sustaining repeated blows to the head on the football field. Number 5. Michael Howe. Michael Howe, a personal trainer from the town of Widnes, England, was jailed for almost 3 years in November of 2020 after a judge determined he was a considerable risk to women. 28-year-old Howe worked for clients across Merseyside with the stated goal of transforming and improving lives. Howe also had 11 past convictions for 27 offences, many of which included assaults on former partners. In March of the same year, he was handed down a sentence of 12 weeks in prison, suspended for 2 years, after being convicted of battery and criminal damage against an ex-girlfriend. Howe then started dating another woman but didn't disclose the relationship to the parole services as per the terms of his sentence, nor did he tell his partner about his past convictions. While at the unnamed victim's home, on the evening of June the 9th, Howe became enraged when she received a text from her former boyfriend. He kicked the woman once in each leg with enough force that she dropped to the floor. Howe then told her that she needed discipline and pushed her before leaving the home. The personal trainer returned 2 days later and attacked the woman once again. After accusing her of telling a friend he was insecure. The second attack, more vicious than the one preceding it, involved Howe dragging her from the couch by her ankles, as well as hitting the victim in the face with a keyboard, grabbing her by the throat and slamming her head into a radiator. The man then threatened to kill whoever found out about the attack. He was arrested and eventually admitted to assault by beating, assault causing actual bodily harm, and breaching his suspended sentence. A judge activated his suspended sentence in full, and the personal trainer was jailed for 2 years and 8 months. Number 4. Tay Francis. In an attack allegedly fueled by the mental instability associated with steroid use, a personal trainer stabbed his girlfriend to death at a hotel in Greenwich, London, in July of 2020. Tay Francis had been previously jailed in 2002 for abusing a 19-year-old ex-girlfriend at Axe Point. The victim was first attacked in a train restroom before Francis, then known under his original name as Ashley Wyatt, forced her to an address in Thornton Heath, southeast London, where he continued abusing her. Following his release and name change, he began dating 18-year-old Chloe May Loy in 2017. Francis, then aged 34, had met her as she worked at a pub near Croydon College, where she was a student. Loy would endure a 5-year-long abusive relationship, during the course of which her parents pleaded with her to leave Francis, fearing he'd eventually kill her. He was at one point convicted of actual bodily harm after throwing the woman into a wheelie bin. Loy managed to secure a restraining order against him before she was eventually drawn back into the abusive relationship. Francis reportedly became paranoid about his conviction from the 2002 assault and was convinced that vigilantes were trying to kill him. He and Loy had moved house a number of times in the months leading up to the murder. On July the 4th of 2020, the couple booked into the Greenwich Holiday Inn Express. Francis called the emergency services the following morning, claiming that he'd stabbed his girlfriend in the neck. While on the phone with the operator, he sent a photo to solicitors of Loy lying dead on the bed with the message, "I've killed my girlfriend." He was arrested and admitted manslaughter on the grounds of diminished responsibility, claiming his mind state was altered at the time. However, prosecutors argued that the fragility of Francis's psyche was of his own design and attributed the murder to roid rage from his decade-long practice of injecting steroids. He was eventually convicted of murder and sentenced to a minimum of 23 years in prison. Number 3. DeJohn Miller. Shortly before Christmas in 2011, North Hollywood personal trainer DeJohn Miller was arrested for beating his girlfriend unconscious. At the time, Miller, who went by the nickname Danger, was already on parole for a previous domestic abuse charge. His latest victim, only identified as being in her late 20s, had been beaten so badly that LAPD detective Brandy Arzate reported she was really close to passing away. 35-year-old Miller ran the websites eatafit.com and sexyisback.com, through which he advertised personal trainer services that were primarily directed at young women. He boasted 15 years of experience, adding that his style was professional, realistic, and a little funky at the same time. His Facebook displayed photos of a group of models deemed Danger's Angels. The authorities reported that aside from the vicious attack on his girlfriend, Miller had abused at least 5 other women whom he'd lured through his business enterprise, either as prospective clients or models. The man had reportedly met 2 of them through Craigslist, and like the others, they'd become victims of extreme physical and emotional abuse. During a press conference, the LAPD revealed that what he'd done to them resembled torture, but didn't provide further details beyond Azat emphasizing they were things she'd never encountered in her career as a detective. The police believed that there were more victims of Miller's abuse in the San Fernando Valley area and encouraged them to come forward, assuring them that the personal trainer would be jailed for a long time. For the attack on his girlfriend, he was charged with attempted murder and held on a $1.3 million bail as the investigation into his horrendous criminal activity continued. Today's topic was requested by Touche Corona and Davinsky24. If you have any other topics you'd like to learn about, subscribe and let us know in the comment section below. Number 2. Jake Taurian. On March the 17th of 2020, personal trainer Jake Taurian and Paul Mons were both at the Alexander's nightclub in Worcester, England. The two men were involved in a violent physical altercation that had begun with the latter dancing in what a judge would later describe as a slightly drunk, slightly foolhardy way. In doing so, Mons bumped into Taurian several times on the dance floor. The 21-year-old personal trainer, who was successful in his field and reportedly earned over $10,000 a month, flew into a fit of rage. He attacked Mons with 3 rapid-fire punches, ending the barrage with a vicious uppercut that knocked the other man unconscious. Mons came to and staggered out of the club before taking a taxi to Worcestershire Royal Hospital. He suffered temporary amnesia as a result of the attack, which left him needing dental work as well as with bruising to his eye and severe swelling to the right side of his face. He told police officers that he felt like his jaw was hanging off, and it was reported that in the period following the beating, he had nightmares about being assaulted. Taurian maintained he'd acted in self-defense but was found guilty of assault, occasioning actual bodily harm. He was given a sentence of 8 months, suspended for 2 years in order to pay the victim over $3,000. Number 1. Greg Plitt. After spending 5 years as a Ranger in the U.S. Army, Greg Plitt began a successful career as a personal trainer and fitness model. He became associated with the Met RX nutritional supplement brand and, in 2012, was named its Athlete of the Year. The work he'd done training military recruits inspired his approach as a personal trainer, and he authored the MFT 28 workout program, which was featured in numerous high-profile fitness publications. Plitt, who'd also appeared on the Bravo reality TV series Workout, rose to the top of the fitness industry. He received widespread acclaim for his physique, which led to him appearing in numerous commercials, becoming a spokesperson for several men's fragrances and modeling for brands that included Calvin Klein, Old Navy, and Under Armour. On January the 17th of 2015, Plitt was recording a video that was reportedly part of a self-produced energy drink commercial. He was running between the rails of the Metrolink Antelope Valley line in Burbank, California. A recorder camera mounted in the cab of train 268's lead locomotive recorded the horrific incident that followed. Plitt, who'd been running dressed in all black and carrying a camcorder, was knocked off the track and out of frame as he was struck by a southbound train. He was killed instantly. The police would later tell TMZ that as part of the commercial, Plitt appeared to be trying to outrun the train. He was mourned by many in the fitness industry, and one theory that emerged in the aftermath of his death proposed he may have believed the train was coming up behind him on a parallel track, not the one on which he was. Thanks for watching. Which would you rather have on standby 24/7? A personal trainer or an elite chef? Let us know in the comment section below.